I can solve this. Simply protected login menu. Yeah, and then this would be like base. Add the stack is also false. And then say this would be name rather than this, and here would just be login menu. Because that way you can do that. I mean, to be fair, this is the wrong usage of inheritance, but whatever. I don't have much time to deal with it right now, so. The name of the menu. It's protected, so it's only in the scenario where you inherit from it. So, there we go. That would mean that now, in register menu, you're able to say, hey, I'm going to pass in register menu. So that's the same fucking thing, so it's fine. Well, hello everybody to another stream. I'm currently trying to change up my menu structure a bit so that like I can actually specify the names correctly. This depends on the scenario. Type of t.name menu. Works, right? These are just things I cut out, so that's fine. The artist menu, I gotta give you a name as well. The artist menu, better than fucking allocating shit onto the heap, right? So I'm just doing this so that makes more logical sense. Do I even have a constructor here? I don't even have a constructor here. Okay then. Public main menu, and as you can see, Microsoft decided to update their shit again, so don't mind. To be fair, actually, everything will end in menu, because everything is a menu. Just why don't I? You don't have to type the menu, you do it every time anyway. Well, I guess you're. Well, technically, yes, but you are allocating shit onto the heap because you're concatenating two strings. However, I don't think it's that bad if it's like this, but it's still worse for performance. So I think, even though it seems nice, I think you should just keep it at that. Is there anything else that I'm missing here? Documentation. So there we go. So will that cover basically every single menu that I have? Looks like it. So yeah, last time we basically went crazy over async shit for like 3 hours, but okay, I think we've got it working, right? To what we have right now, and I think we're done with the user story. Because if you look at the tasks, I mean, the only thing I can't show is that there are more. So in theory, what we can do is we can add more songs to prove that. That's a lot of work, and I don't know if I want to do that. But yeah, that's what we would probably have to do. Like, have a bunch of... Easiest thing is just to have a bunch of artists. Right? Yeah, they just have a bunch of artists. Because that would at least be easy to add. And then you can like confirm if it actually works with the thingies. Let me get the schema and then just like I'm just gonna let AI do it because I don't feel bothered enough to do it. And now just double check if everything's correct. I mean, I'm probably gonna remove them all anyway and replace them with actual shit whenever we add adding of stuff and whatever. And then it just gets way easier to do anyway, because then it's structured. You can easily just add shit. Easiest way to do it is to find the schema, and the schema is in song access, assuming that song access is still the same thing, and what it needs to be. Name is not unique, obviously. The only thing that's unique about this thing is an ID. For the rest, it always, yeah. But that's not where we're going to be new artists, because, yeah, where the name is unique, and then you have a birth year, join, and description. It's pretty basic stuff. So let me just copy this. They don't do the things correct. Wait, was that also? So they're thinking that F777 was born in 1994. I want to see how accurate AI was with that, because I don't know, I'm interested. Nah, I'm probably just gonna make that insert queries myself because it's more accurate that way. But so let me just attempt to see here. So if I go here, born in 1994. I mean, it was close. A lot of these prints aren't very good at the moment, but I don't have time to worry about that. In fact, I'm dying over here, burning alive. So let me just open the door. Got a bit of whiplash. Okay. Yeah, so no. I think I'm just gonna make the insert queries myself. In theory, I just need to go into the database and do it there. It's probably the easiest way. Because it's just artist, right? Why is everything orange now? Okay. Now you say insert into artist values. So let's go over to Newgrounds and actually do it this way. Like law and reality, for example. Doesn't really say much. Law and reality. Berkshire, I don't know how old this guy is. Law and reality. Age. I don't know. We'll just do 0 because we don't know it. Then join date. These are the types of things we have to throw in. Right? 12/11. What does 12/11 mean? Here, because it's 12/11/14, so it'd be what exactly? Well, it's 2014. Okay, so that's the, for example, if I do like Onumi, or 28, okay, so the first one is the day and the second one is the month. So, second one is the month, and the second one is the month, then that's going to be 11, 12, 12, and lastly, description will be empty. That's long reality. There's some other person. I don't know. Beefy off. I don't know. Random people. So Speefy off. So we have Speefy off. We have an age specified. Yep, 29, which means 26 minus 29. And then the join date is 1/10/15, as we stated. This would mean this is 1, this is 10, and this is 2015. And description wise, okay, like, no. So I think this is all it is. So there we go. else can we find? I mean, I'm literally just gonna look up random letters and see what comes up. Madhouse Dude, that's a good one. So we've got Madhouse Dude with age 31, so there we go. Joined 721, okay. Of 2010. Okay, well, I think the best way to copy paste this would be copy link. There we go. Right, and you can do shift enter maybe. Oh. Yeah, that automatically wraps like that. Okay, cool. Okay. I'm just doing this so that we have some test data. And besides that, yeah. That's really all it is. Zero base. Hell yeah. That's a random one. No known age, so I'm just putting it at 0. Anything that I don't know, I'm just putting at 0. By 2503. And then, of course, in quotes. There we go. Yeah, we have 9 results. Need a couple more. From Paragon, I guess. I mean, this is just so I can confirm that this works. Which this person is 40 years old, holy shit. This was 2001. And 886, I guess. There we go. Just some random link. That's this man's description. Okay. We're gonna get there, guys. Don't worry. All right. So, what else can I look up to see? What are you gonna give me for that? Xenogenocide. Sure. Xenogenocide. It's 36. Started in 2004. 11/25. So. That's just one long line. Oh, artist and ID is the same. There we go. Now I technically have enough data, right? Technically. So all I would need to do is just go back in and look up artists. Which I would say just do that normally and we'll see what happens. Menu. So that'd be in program. Where's program? Here. Say I said new. Yeah, so instead of this, just say new page menu. Okay. So, say we did artist logic dot get by search which is artist. There's a prefix. Let's see. Yeah, that gave you a lot of results. How about like something like A? I want to find some way to find every single one. Ah, here we go. So you can see here you have a next and you have a return to. Right, very easily you can swap between the two, go to Onumi, now you're in 2, because return 2 doesn't exist. To be fair, everything has a return. And again, this is why I was kind of thinking of my menu structure. I feel like I should be changing my menu structure to automatically do that. However, the problem with that is that what I have is an array. Meaning that what you define needs to be added upon by the other thing. Which makes me think I have to not use it as a property that you like use abstract for, like, you know, and then override it, you might need to do something else, which I'm gonna have to think about, because like you can't use ref on a non-ref property, right? So you can't use array.resize. You would have to be smart about it. Wait, what you could do is you can make a new array and set that array. Huh. Yeah, that's not hard at all. And you can just change return to be return to, like, or just exit application or whatever. If there's nothing left. It's that simple. Like, yeah, you can return any moment, and yeah, like, that would make it way better, because then I don't have to constantly create a new one. I might do that in the after we do some other shit, but okay. So that was it for that. I can pretty much officially say, hey, this works. And then just change this back to a new start menu. I think that just means this is done now. We've done everything. Go to task.md, just say, hey, we finished it. Cool. That is every task completed, every user story completed. I'm just gonna go over to my repository. To the project of that repository. Say this is now let's say this is done. Which, by the way, this is the last day of the thing. There's no way I'm doing localization in one day. There is no fucking way. But it's good that we have this done, right? And then we can just make sure that yeah, that was already marked off. Okay, yeah. So let's start with data models. So I'll just do. I've done most of this already. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, this is the next thing that we're trying to do. So this is already done. This is also already done. Already did most of this. Now here we go. We need a translation T record. Don't know why we would need that for 2. Why would I need a translation T for this? It's 2 things. I guess because if you wanted to make a different type of translation, I guess. Yeah, because it's like saying like, oh, yeah, no, I haven't done them, I just have to do them. Like, oh, that's a weird one. I guess to extend it and say, this is the start, and things that I inherit from it can extend on that. I guess. So, I'm sweating up a storm, man. Okay, well, okay, we need a translation.cs file, which is going to be a namespace. You know, maybe I should, first of all, do this. Why change on some page then? Oh yeah, okay. Okay, let me do this step by step. right? Fixed documentation on genre enum. Audio player. Audio player class to be truly asynchronous. By utils fixed. Yeah, fixed data not working. Daytime utils. Helper extension method for daytime utils. I'm doing this just to have it out of the way. Created genre utils class, static class, and then that I might as well just remove. Okay, artist menu. Guess added return option menu, but I also have to remember that menu was also changed. Every other menu was also changed to coincide for that. This is what happens when you don't like do this constantly. You should do it constantly, anyways, just forget. No, that one's not worth doing because I changed so much shit there. That one, I think that's it, yeah. Changed menu class to have at the stack name fields set in constructor. There we go. Now this song class to asynchronously play audio. There we go. That one we don't need to do yet. Input helper. Enter optionally right inline, and then song menu changed up a whole lot. Song menu to have it, and also be playing audio when instantiated. Yep, and then we're going to sync changes onto this branch, all 54 of them. It's a lot. Take a while. Let me close some of these tabs. Is it gonna sync the changes or what? Okay, there we go. Now let me check out to the dev branch. Stash and checkout. Table and stash. Okay. Well, I am in there now, right? Can I undo that? Let me try to check out to right, so now we're here. Now, try to check out to div branch. Now, I guess I should push this first. I've cleaned up my thing. There we go. Can I now check out to div branch? Oh wait, no, not that. Pull from this. It's not gonna allow me to because I have this. Sure, and then I can check, and I can check out too. I'll pull from here. Sync changes. Okay, there we go. There we go, I got it. Took a bit, but we got it. So let me now create a branch called Localization DL. Okay. So just this did take away my thing though, which is fine. Don't really care. Oh, I should save this. So yeah, I was working on the data model, right? So just do translation.cs namespace data.data models public class translation public record translation. And then, so So we're gonna need to have what for this? Don't really need entity, you just need an entity in general. Entity. Just to get in it, and then also along culture ID, get in it. Sure, public, right? Then you're gonna do public translation, entity, along culture ID, which is just going to say this dot entity equals entity, this dot culture ID equals culture ID. Very simple. Then we can do this. Record for action objects. Record for holding an entity and a culture. Specification. The entity translation objects, or rather gets the entity, then gets the culture ID of the translation object. And then this just instantiates it. The entity ID of the translation object. God, I'm dying from the heat, man. Okay. I mean, that's what I said to do, right? And then you do a viewable translation.cs namespace data.data models. Just immediately add that stupid header. Then do public class viewable translation. Public record viewable translation, because that has to also be a record. From translation iViewable. Oh yeah, well you would also need to know what type that is. Which means that's what you would need to do. Where T iViewable T. Just to make sure. Yep. This has a public string name get in it, and then also a public string description get in it, and then we can say public viewable translation, string name, string description, base what is the base? I guess long. We'll do entity long culture ID. Entity culture ID. And to say this dot name equals name, this dot description equals description. You know? Something like that. Record for a translation for object. The translated name gets the translated name, and this gets the translated description, and then this would have to be standard. I would just say like inherit doc because it's the same fucking thing, but it doesn't like that, so I'm gonna actually copy paste there. This is literally identical, so why the fuck would I care? And then the translated name, the translated description, I suppose. Okay. Yeah, so that means now we've done, I think, basically every single one of them already. Basically already done that, meaning this is just done now. Now we have DAL, which is the worst. This is where shit goes downhill. Okay, so we're going to need a translation table, which means we're going to have to go into data access, do translation access.cs, namespace data.data access, and we'll do this and say public translation access from accessor translation of type T. Yeah, where T I has ID. Okay, using data abstraction. Yeah, you would hate to say that this implements I has ID. In general, I think it's a bad practice to say that everything has an ID. Well, I guess it sort of makes sense, right? That like translation object has like an ID. say long ID. I'm gonna say this dot ID equals ID. And say translation. This I has ID means using data abstraction. Yep. Fun times. The heat is killing me. Long ID, which we can then pass into here. Again, just make sure it has this as its description. Yeah, no, I just implemented. Okay. Okay. Guess just implement the abstract class. Okay. So I've learned that this is a way better way of doing this type of shit. Multi-line strings here. I didn't really think of that at all. I just always used the at, but that's a raw string literal. So it's a bit different. So create table if not exists translation, which I guess should be this dot table. Right. So we have ID integer not null primary key auto increment. What else do we have? So we've got an entity type, not null, vulture ID integer not null. So the idea is you can have it be, our goal is to have a translation table that, you know, can handle any scenario. So with the entity type and the culture ID, you can then get the result of that right? You say like field name, text not null, and then value, text not null. Or, yeah. That's basically, well, yeah, no, everything shouldn't, well, I mean, the results can be null, but the actual shit in the database can't be null, right? Gets the table SQL for the translation table. The insert SQL for the translation table. And gets the update SQL for the translation table. This shit we're gonna be implementing later. So this is more like a translation table is more just like get by ID would be turn for a single. I mean, idea is just like calling this with ID. Create, it would be what, like this dot create derived given create derived object would just be return query all in theory we're not going to make some crazy object out of this. It's just select asterisk from this dot table plus SQL followed by DP. Nothing crazy. The question is more like, is this going to work? Because I doubt it. SKHP inherit doc though. Or not. Creates new translation T objects given we have on SQL. returns collection of translation T objects. Gets a translation T object by its ID, the ID of the translation object, terms the first was, yeah, just something like that. Class for the translation T data model. Translation T object. So did this save at all? It did. Nice. Okay. Well, my thing is, right, if I go into program right now and I try to run this, so that's, let's say cold. Equals new translation access. Song. Say access dot. I usually do this, right? Does this work? Nope. What do you mean? Because it's generic. Interesting. So if it's generic, the name actually is wrong. Okay, how do you, okay. It's a translation table, right? Which can have any type of thing. I think we're gonna have to specify it, because otherwise to a given value, say string table equals table. The name of the SQL table, and force every other accessor to do that. There we go. That's standard text. Alright, that's one. Next one, same deal. Public song access base song. And then add standard text. Cool. Here too, public song artist access, base song artist. Yay. Okay, translation access now, public translation access. Yep, base translation. Okay. And then of course that's standard text. User access as well. User cool. All right. So now that should compile. Let's try it again. Okay, now we have this, right? Translation. So, let's say I went into here, right? Don't even know if this works technically, but that type of shit, right? Do like 111 name. Say like this. And then hello for so if I were to say select s dot will it be class s.name, I think it was like t.name, s.name, and class t.description, s.description. Then we have to do a left join translation as t on well, yeah, you're supposed to do, there's this whole thing that it was, right? Like, okay, so for example, you have this, right? So if I say select asterisk from song as s, left join translation, right? As t. What do we do in that scenario? Say the first one was attached to it, say it was attached by culture ID, right? So on I guess on t dot equals entity ID is 1 and s dot no, because you would also need to do it by the object's ID, right? So you would have to add an actual row here. After the entity type, we need to add a new one. Forget how to do that. Always forget how to do that. So I can say like ID integer not null. For now, go into translation itself, set these to say 1, 1, and 1 for now. Change the schema again. To be not null, because now that should work. There we go. Now we can say that it's that, because then we can say s.id equals t.entity ID. What happens? ID equals @ID, which we can then state like 1, for example. Yeah, you get all of the different ones. We also have to say and t.culture ID equals @culture. So I say you do 1 and 1, here's your 1 result, right? So now, here's the hard part, right? If I do s.asterisk, right, let's say select s.id, s.name, 1, you would get 1 in this, right? But we need to say coalesce well, the first one, which is t dot value. Yeah, no, this is where it gets complicated, because you need to do it where it's that for that field name. And for that you would have to make a second select. So like, what you would do is t.name, s.name, but of course that doesn't exist. So it's gonna have error on you. So we need to specify what that is. So we have to left join a select query so like name description from translation where t.entity type, where entity type equals 1 and make sure do st here. Imagine that. No. No, okay, so where entity type equals 1 and t.culture ID, or just culture ID. Equals entity ID. As t and on s.id equals t.entity. t.id maybe? Because it just thinks it's an alias. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. right? It doesn't know what name is. Because they're like, where's the issue? Right? Also 139. I'm assuming they mean this. But why? It's like this. Will result in the same problem. It tries to how would you combine? Okay, I think actually what it is translation.id as ID. I think it's translation dot value as name. Which I don't think would work either, because then you have to. I mean, it's something. I mean, it actually works. Somewhat. I guess. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, if I throw in... Here's the problem, right? If you throw in st.description and then s.description, you can do like 1, 2. Because t.description is empty. So say I then insert into translation values. So okay. So we have a 4 description is the field, and we're going to do like still same entity type, still same entity ID, but having a different culture ID. Yeah, so let's just do 1 for description, and then value, just that, for example. What would happen then if you were to say do this? See, it uses the same one because it thinks translation of value is the same thing. So how... Because, like, okay. It's hard to do. Because it's like, okay, here's the thing, right? So I did this through a prompt once, and I sort of remember it. Because I got to this point, but how do you know exactly what you're going for? This is complicated. Hold on. Ah, okay. Yeah, so what they're doing is they're doing it for two different things. So this is kind of how it worked, is you would have like a default left join translation. So what I'm doing is really overkill. As t on t dot entity id equals s dot id and t dot entity type equals 1 and t dot field name equals name and t dot right, but that's like pretty basic stuff. But like, okay, so say I see. So as name as t dot name maybe Because like, okay, why? Yeah, T-name. So what they're doing basically is this, which is pretty understandable, right? It's pretty understandable that they're fucking Christ, that they're doing this, right? So what they do is they have two different ones. This is honestly probably a pretty clean pattern, I'd be completely honest. Do left join translation as T description on T, and it's gonna have to be T name because then otherwise it won't work. T name on T desk dot. It's basically always the same thing though. That's kind of the reason that this is a little weird, and if you want to do like a whole lot, there's actually like a pretty clean pattern. I think there's like something with max, if you do it like the max function in a certain way, with a switch. It's a very interesting thing that I saw before, but this is very understandable. It's very obvious. Like it's just a left join, and you join it on a few conditions. I can get that behind that, right? Right? And then where s.id equals id. Right? Oh yeah, and also say and culture equals at culture. This would also be that. It would mean 1, 1, 1. I mean, there's no. What do you mean there's no such column? Clearly is that. I'm literally sending this as T name. Oh, because it's value. Yeah, I forgot about that. So that's how it would work, I think. Hold on. Column bishop. Yeah, oh yeah. This has to be T name, and this has to be T description. This also has to only be the T description. But you can see how this can get pretty crazy if you have to translate a lot of things, and that's why there's some type of like switch case max thing that you can do. But yeah, for now, just this, right? Bonjour and hello. There you go. It works. Looks like a nightmare. But in theory, you can just make it a method that basically just does this for you. I mean, in theory, this will always be the same. The only thing that's different is the field name and the identifier, pretty much. And for the rest, this entire left join can basically just be set as like some type of method that gives you all the things you need. But yeah, that's pretty much what you have to do. It's an insane fucking query, but hey, it works. It actually works the way it's meant to. And if I do something like, hey, let's do like 1, 2. Okay, 1, 3, 4, 3, 1. Let's do 1, 5, 1. plus 1? Oh yeah. Because it's supposed to be 2, 2, 1. I guess. Why is it getting rid of the description though? Is it because 1 doesn't have that? If I do 1, 1, 1, it works. If I do 2, 1, 1, or wait, 1, 1, 2, I mean. If I do 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. Yeah, I think it does work. But this is an insane query. And this is pretty much what you would have to do just to be able to do it. It'd be basically just a constant for the specific access class. So it's really not that bad, but I mean, there is an easier way. Easier, it's more complicated, but like there's like some. Yeah, okay. So all they're doing is they're doing coalesce max. Yeah, this is a trick that you can do. So you can do max case when a case when t dot field name equals name, then t dot value end. So basically we're stating if this current row has a field name of name, then we return the value, otherwise we return null. And then we get the max value, which null is always lower than the max value, than the other value, unless they're both null. So it gets the max one, right? This is another way to do it, right? So that's something to keep in mind. T dot field name equals description. This way right. It's a complicated query, especially when you do it like this. But if you do that, you don't have to repeat multiple joins. The only thing you would need is to say machine translation as t, say where t dot entity ID or t dot field name is unnecessary. You can just say t dot culture ID, and then boom. Much cleaner. The only thing that's less clean, I guess, is this, but I mean, if you really know that case, only the only thing that case does is just say, is this the situation? If so, return this value, otherwise null, and then you get the max of that. It's not super hard when you know it, but it's one of those tricks you really just gotta know. But it's a very interesting trick. And this is how you would actually do it, because yeah, you class it. In this case, check this null. If it is null, default to s.name, right? And again, if you were to test this, like 1, 1, I don't know, for example, and perhaps call it something else as name, because otherwise it will not work. As description, right? 1, 1. There we go. That's what we do. So now we have an ID, a name, and a description. Say I did this with, well, the first one is culture, the second one is the value, so let's do 1, 2. Then you get haunted with that, see? 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. And perhaps I wanted to do one with different ones, like 2, 1. Only has that, right? Do 2. Oh, you can do 3, 1. And then 4, 1, will just give you that. And that by default has an empty description. So, boom. This is how you do something like this. It's one of those queries that, like, you just need to know what everything does. And if you don't, it's really confusing. But I mean, now that I know left join is pretty much just a where clause. You know, it makes sense. You only join them in the case that the left table exists and the other one exists or doesn't exist, and where t.entity ID is equal to s.id, and where t.entity type is 1, and where the t.culture ID is the culture. And the entity type, you can just throw in an entity enum, right? So that's pretty simple stuff. Because that's like fixed data. No point doing that in any other way, right? So that is how you do this type of query. It's pretty complicated, but you just gotta get it. It really is one of those things of like, you just gotta get it, right? Okay, I'm gonna not save. I'm gonna not save this. I'm gonna go to wherever that fucking thing was. Translation access. Throw this in its own special query. So this is not necessarily something you can do in translation access, because it's not really a translation thing. It's, you don't need to get it from here. It's more as a helper table, right? It's a table where you're not going to be getting anything from this table ever. That's pointless. It's more just so that you can join that table, right? So we'll just leave it at what it is right now. For the rest, it really doesn't need any implementation at all. So like, for example, now that we have this, how would you implement this in song access? Well, we have to go to our insane full SQL, which is already ridiculous. Okay, so we have to do this one by one. So we're going to say s.id. Also, make this a multi-line string for the love of God. It drives me crazy that it isn't. Select s.id. Then it would be class max case when t dot field name equals name, then t dot value end, right? To escape the case, right? Or just s dot name as name. This is one of those things that yeah, it's a lot of things, right? So you say coalesce max case when equals description, then t dot value end as description. No, I need to know the exact layout of a song table to be able to do this. So, okay. So, and this is just as an example in Song Access of what you would need to do, right? So you have a genre afterwards. So s dot genre, s dot also we have s dot release date, s dot description, s dot audio file, and then also still a dot asterisk. I know, right? Then from the as left join these things, and also left join translation as t. Holy shit, the square is gonna be insane. On t dot entity ID equals s dot ID and t dot culture ID and t dot entity type equals 1 in this case, or just to be type safe, entity dot song which is 1, and what else does translation have? Culture ID, field name, value, ID, entity type, entity ID, culture ID. Basically, it's three primary keys, sort of, that you have to compare. You could make it that way, I guess. You could also say that they all have to be, the combination of all three of them has to be unique, I guess. Yeah, that's like a constraint you can add. Maybe. Say that they all have to be unique. Unique is safer than primary key, because the primary key will state the ID. Okay. Yeah, so, and t dots. Yes, we already compared entity ID culture and entity type, so that's pretty much it. And then it's, holy shit. This is insanity. Okay. I think we need an access or some type of static method. Where are the projected things? Here we go. So under cache map, let's say projected static string. Okay, translation is gone. I think Ecolas is a better way to do it. Max case when the only thing I would need is the name. String. Property name. So that would just be simply coalesce max case when t dot field name. I'm gonna say field name. Field name. Then t dot value end, otherwise field name property name. It's probably the easiest way. There we go. Alright. So then we're also going to do protected static string get left get translation join given what? So I'm just trying to make this like easier to do. Yeah, I mean the name of that followed by, so you need the alias, any entity, alias and entity, alias, char alias, and entity. So then that would be left. See, like, okay, what this would be, you should do this. You say, well, that would be left join translation as on t.entity id equals. You do this alias dot id and culture ID equal at culture, and t.entity type entity. Right? Is that what you can do? You can just simply say this will be translation join given s and entity.song Nicole S. I can get class given name and s.name. See, that's way more clear on what it wants to do. And then this will be description of s.description. Yeah, this long ass SQL query. Holy shit. This is ridiculous. That's the list value of a of the selected translation routes. And the property provided. Then name of the field in the translation table, and the name of the property to default to, in the case of null, returns as a string. Translating to the current culture, I guess. And then here, same thing. Gets the left join query by an alias and entity values. The ID property and the enum value returns a left join query for that joins the translation table, the current table. Now I want to test it, see what happens. Say I went program, new song, menu, song object, I'll get by ID 1. then I can do it. Just curious. What would happen? Oh, look at it, it's getting worse and worse. Access are line 246. Song access 127. I messed something up somewhere. Wait, no, it's going to the accessor, back to the song access, back to the accessor. Oh, lane 127 is song access. Okay, so that's the querying. This is somewhere here. Oh. Perhaps because of that. Nope. Might be in the calculus. No, because there's 2 here and 2 here. Or is it because it's not capitalized? I'm not sure where it's going wrong. There's some place here there where it's like failing. That was the problem. Well, at least part of the problem. That was backwards. Get translation join. Ambiguous column name. Oh, because I acted as if that was the thing, maybe? So like an accessor. Right, because in these it's... I guess because I'm not doing this. Because I haven't made the translation table yet in the actual thing, that's why. Give me a moment. Most likely anyway. Yeah, it doesn't have an entity ID, integer not null. That's why. Message column song. Where the fuck is it happening now? Jesus Christ. Oh, because it's URL entity, or just int entity. Because otherwise it's going to assume that it's song. Yeah, no, it's just because I don't have add parameters. Okay, that's fine. First of all, we say dp.add current UI culture dot ID culture ID. Now there's like some type of video culture types. LCID. LCID ndp.add. Add ID. No, I think that's already in there. Because that was added on. It's not that this song is absolutely terrible, but we're getting there. We're figuring it out. Let's do like 5 because this song is terrible. It's absolutely bad. Right, you do that. Make sure this has a comma. This has a comma. God damn it. There we go. From song. So okay, let's say left join. Translation. St on okay, so if we join it on and t dot j equals at culture id and then you can say and t dot entity type equals 1. Okay, see, that works. But A would also have to be like that. Oh, what a nightmare. So you would also... Holy shit, what a fucking query, dude. So what you would have to do is you would also have to say a.id, and then coalesce, max case, when, t.field name equals... But how would you do it for multiple like this? Oh shit. I don't know if I can do that. Because like this query is insane. Like I'm just saying, this query is mental. Because how are you, if you have more than one object you're making, I would rather say it's like, it's just whenever you print something like this, I think it should go for some type of localization table rather than this utter goddamn nightmare. Because how would you even? Like, again, I can do this slightly, but you would have to do a completely separate left join, wouldn't you? Because this is if it's equal to 1, so you would have to make a second fucking left join. Holy shit. This would become one of the longest queries you've ever seen if I did it like this. I mean, it's possible, I think, to do it, but is it worth it? For now, like this, right? And I did like, not the whole left joins, no, just this. Copy this to 2, which would be a.id. field name. Oh yeah, because this would be I would have to do st song t art. So I'd have to do t art here, right? Which would mean here I'd have to change this to t art, this to t song, this to t song. Okay, let me try that again then. Oh, and t dot value of course as well has to change to t song. T song. This is what I mean with this is a ridiculous. Entity ID. Oh yeah, because I also have to change these to T song. Okay, so I actually got it to work. So say I had in translation, right? Like let me just put a semicolon here so I can actually do this. Insert into translation values. One won't be the entity type 1. Entity ID would be 1. Culture ID, let's keep it at 1. And then also the field name, let's do name. And then do a value of that. Right? Now let's do the same thing except for an entity.id of 2. Actually it's 2 here. Right? So what happens now? Not working. Was it, did I do entity ID instead of? I did. That was not what I meant to do. I meant to say this was 1, and then this, not this, this right here was 2. If I do it clear now. I mean, it works, but why would you do this? Look at this query. Like if I do shift 11. This is the query you have. Who would do this? This is one of the most confusing SQL queries I've ever seen. Holy shit. No, dude, this is hilarious. Holy shit, dude, now what have I done? I mean, it works, but why would I do this? Like, oh my god. I think loading it into it is probably a bad idea, right? I would rather say, like, store it and then extract it and then convert it to whatever language it needs to be. That's a better way to do it than this. This is terrible. Holy shit. This is so bad. What have I done? No, no, that's actually just kind of funny. How did I do that? Like, what? I somehow made the most confusing thing imaginable. I mean, like, the thing is, it works. And I get exactly how it works, but why would you ever do this? You know what would be a better idea? I'm going to show you a way better query. And that is simply select, say t.name, let's say select name description from translation where entity type equals 1 and entity ID equals add ID and culture ID equals add culture, right? Not culture. And is there any other and? No, I think those are free, right? Type in 1. Oh yeah. Well, no, because you wouldn't be able to. No, you would have to do it separately. You would have to say select value. That's it. That's what we do. Select value. Right? And then you can take the value you got there and then coalesce on your own. Which is much better than whatever the fuck I made before. It's so bad. It's so horrible. Because if I were to repeat that in my code base would look so fucking shit. It's like too long of a query. Like I think if you go that overboard, you're better off just doing it like this, and then just deciding to coalesce it yourself. Or you could just say like. You could say like select name from st and say this is like select s dot name, or just name in general, where we'll say t dot entity type, t dot entity ID, t dot culture ID, and then do like a left or right join, I guess it would be, because we're doing it in backwards order, of song as s on s.id equals t dot entity id, and I can remove this. I don't know. Then class t dot value and s dot name. Now we give you that. If you type in 2, doesn't exist. Strange. I think it's because I didn't specify. Yeah, because culture doesn't exist. No, I think I'd have to front enter here, right? So and type equals 1 and t dot culture id equals at culture. I don't know, something like that. And then where t dot entity id equals at id, something like that. So like 1 1, give you that. How about like 2 1? Why is that not working? Because it's a right join, or what if I do left? What are you doing, buddy? Left join doesn't work because then you repeat yourself. Logically, you would use a right join because it's the opposite order, right? I mean, yeah, if you wanted to do it all through SQL, you could still just do like a very simple. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think something like that, that's what you have to do, right? I would say just do from song as s, right? Left join. Then you can left join it, right? You can say translation as t on t dot id equals t dot entity id equals s dot id, and t dot culture equals at culture, and t dot type equals 1. Okay, so that gets you everything. If I do 2, yep, that literally does it for you. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can just use this. Whatever the fuck I did here, don't do it. Yeah, so like literally, if you just compare those, this is like, well, the thing is, this is all you do. This versus this nightmare. At least I understand what that nightmare is, and I understand left joins better, but what? Yeah, this is the way better idea. Just to do like a coalesce when you print the data, or just say like, set it when printing it, or something like that. I mean, I guess for performance, this might be better, because you don't have to recalculate it every time. But if that was the case, you would just make a private field or something, and then the private field will hold the translated value, and the translated value then gets printed instead of the normal one. Yeah, that makes more sense, right? Like, this is bullshit, and this is fine. Like, I'm okay with this. Not the other thing. Right, so like, when we're talking song access here, all you would need to do is just say asterisk, zero asterisk, don't change that. Yeah, there we go. I think that's fine, and they just follow it up by SQL. That's fine. The culture ID stuff, don't even bother. That we can just do whenever you. So maybe like writing a constructor, I can do that, right? So like, writing that exact constructor, it will then set it to another field, you know? Although it's done through Dapper. Yeah, it's done for Dapper, so it would have to be delayed execution anyway. Huh. No, that you would just have to do it whenever you print it. Unless you set it to that and then say, check if that exists for this instance. Say, like, it's a nullable value. And then, like, if it's set, then you use it, otherwise you don't. And you get it from the database. However, if you do that, then again, the model is doing the work. Which, I don't know, it's one of those things where, like, you're either going to use this small little query here, or you're going to be using this nightmare. Because this does work. I know it works, because I tested it. But do you want to do that? For every single fucking time you have to do this. I mean, how do you even make this generic? Like, how do I make a method that automates this? That would require so many parameters. Like, you first of all need to know every single thing here that you have to include. That's one. Then you also need to know the name of this alias, the values that you're doing for both of these scenarios, and also what the entity type is, and also saying how many times. Like, you would have to do so many. I think you would have just to make very small methods that in total would do something, but holy shit. This is a ridiculous query. I mean, the problem is you have to do every single one of them, right? That you have. And then here, same here. Which makes it a pain. I mean, okay, a 42-line query is a bit ridiculous. So in general, despite the complexity of this, it is cost efficient. But holy shit. Like, this is what the query would have to be. This is sadly what it needs to be. I'm not joking. Like, this is what you would have to do in Song Access. It's ridiculous. So, like, right here, this is the query. But it actually works that way. Like, you can't disagree with that. It works. Okay, hold on. So this is gonna be. I don't know what the rest of them are, so I'm gonna have to look at the database again for that. Okay, so artist, birth year, join date, description. Okay, birth date, birth date. Join date, okay, here we go. Coalesce. Max case when tart.field name description then tr.value followed by a.name as name or a.description as description. Just to make it even worse. Don't worry, I can fix that, no problem. Just give me a couple seconds. Tab. What is this nightmare of a query? I mean, it's super cost efficient, but like, what the fuck is it, dude? Like, oh my god, I've made a monstrosity. Like, where do you even begin? Okay, listen, alright. Here we are. Where do you even begin to automate this? Like, how would you make this query generic? Say I went and did a private static string create query. How do I represent this? I can't tell you. I really can't tell you. Where do you even begin? Well, Coalesce you can. That's an easy one. So let's say a private. Let's just have like a string. Coalesce. That string coalesce is going to have as simple as just the name, the alias, a field name, and then the actual name. I think mainly just string alias, string field name. Yeah, alright, so this would be string alias, string field name. Return this. Max case when alias dot field name equals field name, which means I can cut down on the coalescence at the very least. Well, sort of, because you do this, right, which just ends this one, and then you have to have another one, which is going to be your default. It's your property name. Property name. Right. So instead of this nightmare, I can simply just say, hey, this is pointless. I can just say coalesce, the alias being key song, as I specify down here somewhere. Yep, D song. Name, S dot name. Yep, and there we go. And then as name. That's a lot cleaner already, right? So we can say this coalesce the song name or a description. That's not description. I know why it's the wrong order, because description is meant to be down here. So we're coalescing two of them. Yeah, like that's at least readable. Oh, battery's low. But right, like this is where we use tart. So we say coalesce tart for name with a dot name. As name, and then here do the same thing for coalesce tart description a dot description. Now, okay, this dot table is S. Now from the crazy queries. Like again, this is still doable, right? Because if you use coalesce, it's not so bad. I should probably close some of these tabs. I've been streaming for a while. Oh, shit, okay, it's possible. Okay, so now comes the interesting part, making left join queries. Say private static string left join for now. what do we need for the left join query? Well, most of the, yeah, you need your alias, your other alias, or what to compare it to anyway. What should the ID be compared to? And then your entity type. That's it. So again, free arguments would be a string alias string ID comparer or ID property, and lastly entity. We can then return left join in translation as alias on alias dot entity ID equals ID property and alias dot culture ID and alias dot entity type entity as an int. So then instead of these left joins, I can just say, hey, this one I'm going to simply just change into a left join of tsong as the ID and entity.song, and remove this and repeat that for this g part a.id artist. Boom. So I changed that massive SQL query down to this. I mean, it's not much better, but hey, at least it's readable for a little bit of it anyway. It's very slightly readable, maybe, but it's gonna fail because I don't have any parameters given to it, so I'm gonna do the whole thing again. Either way, there's some type of syntactical error somewhere. Or that could even be. Most likely coalesce, right? I was thinking maybe it's the. Oh, I never. Is that it? Because okay, so I do this, right? I do coalesce, this, max, case when, end that, then this, which means I end it, and set it to that. So where, did I miss a comma somewhere? I genuinely don't know what I'm missing. Is the left join containing something? Going to contain something? How would I know? So it's somewhere in there, right? Because if you look at the exception, which there's way too many of now, look at it. It's something happening on line 132. There's obviously 132, 61. Create the reverse TI. Oh, because I don't include the SQL. That first of all I gotta include, but where's the error coming from? I don't think my thing likes this right now. What is the full SQL? Full SQL. Okay. Let's see here. Select listed ID less max case when field name equals name. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Then alias dot value end why should I call them 8 of birth dates? You sure? Oh yeah, because it's birth year. Either way, I still want to do like db question control equals new dynamic parameters. And then we'll say db.add current friend current culture dot what was it, LCID for culture ID, right? That's what I should use it for. We're almost somewhere. Yeah, I don't think I have to add anything else, right? It's just that one. It does work. And now if I just go into the actual one, actually .db localization doesn't. So let me run this in .NET with .NET run then. C project .NET run. Add it. Okay, there we go. Now it should exist. No, that's the wrong one. Give me the one I need, which is this one. It should now contain translation. Now, just add some random shit to this. Insert into translation values 1, 1, 1, 1. Not gonna come up with anything though, because I don't know what that is. I don't know what the LCID is of that. So perhaps I should first go into program console, reline that. Current UI culture LCID console reline. So I first know that. 2057. I'm gonna guess that that's what it is. Okay, then we're gonna go for let's see what else we gotta do. That's the culture ID, and then field name will be name and say hello guys. I don't know. And if you then go back to program, remove this, or at least one of those lines. Insert it to be one instead of 5, and then rerun it. It exists, but it's not. Maybe it's because it's not the current UI culture. The current culture. Yep, there we go. It works. Like, period. Like, what is this fucking query? I mean, okay, it's like, if you ignore these lines, you know, it ain't super hard to read. I mean, this is readable. Like, you have 2 left joins, and then a left join here with some SQL at the end. It works. Is it good? Probably not. How would you... I mean, there is not really a way. Like, the only way you would be able to do this, there really isn't a way. You kind of have to do all of them. Let's say to select every single one of them. But yeah, that's tricky. Also, yeah, I think that's what the name is when that's the other file. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's hard. It's hard, yeah. It's hard. But I got it to work. Eventually. These now I am probably going to put in their own file. Well, the thing is, like, these belong in some type of, like, I mean, they're part of the accessor because I don't want you to be getting access to these things, like, outside of the accessor. Like, that's all I'm saying. Just get what I did here. It's not what I did here. Okay, and we're just gonna say this is protected. This is protected, so we're gonna say what these do. So this is a translated search for in the translation table and the alias name turns a string or trans in a property. And then this creates a left join query for translating a table specified properties. The alias of the trans table in question, the to use as the turns a left join query that translates specified properties. Sure. And then translate translate join. Translate join, translate class. Yep. It's still ridiculous. Like, this is still fucking ridiculous. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, what is this? Yep. This is the best you can do. And this is why, I mean, yeah, if you did like a translation table system where it's like a different translation table for every object, yes, you can do that. But why? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I think I'm gonna do today. I think I'm proud enough that I got this to work. I mean, in terms of what we have to do still, I didn't get it done in time, yeah, I know, technically, but yeah, we have to do all the resource stuff, which is just translating. That's not that hard. The hardest part is going to be, I guess, figuring out how the resource manager works again, but that's just make a logic class for that. It's not that hard. And then make sure that you coalesce the values of the other ones as well, which is just copying the query. Listen, this is the most friendly you can make this query. Like, this is the most, I guess, like, DIY preventative way to do it, just because you are, you know, turning that whole class and that whole left join into a single method. Which makes it more readable, but still not great. Because you have to mention every single fucking property. That's the only reason it's that long. The upper left joins are required. Yeah, so artist class. Yeah. The DIL stuff is reasonable. The PL stuff is... why is that broken? There we go. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, this other one is just, yeah, it makes a settings menu. And then this inherits from results menu. And it's, yeah, I mean, it's more like, oh yeah, it's a different type, right? Because I want to make results menu more generic to what it is right now. Because right now it's just brush 5 viewable. But it's a page menu, right? I want the page menu to do more things than that. That's something I'll have to do, but for the rest it's pretty easy. It's just getting that fucking query to work. Well, yeah, we got it. It wasn't so hard, it was just confusing as hell. Yeah, but this one makes sense. Like, if you coalesce them like that, and then, you know, do a left join, so that, you know, things in the song will always be there, but the other side might not be, and therefore you coalesce, that's why you coalesce at all. And then, you know, that left join adds those fields in the cases so that you can do it for multiple at once, which is better than making 4 of the same left join queries. I mean, you can make a whole method just to do that, technically. But then you still have to, it's just as bad, if not worse, than this. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna leave. It's almost fucking 11 p.m. I'll continue this tomorrow, see how far I get. I'm done with all the school stuff, so I should have some extra time.